No fan could have predicted that a private visit from Kim Taehyung, V of BTS, to Jungkook at the military base would stir the emotions of the ARMY community around the world. More than just a reunion between BTS members serving their military duties, the moment sparked a deep and meaningful wave of speculation. What really happened between these two global icons? The visit occurred secretly and outside the official military agenda. According to information from Korean online communities and anonymous sources trusted by several fan forums, Taehyung deliberately came a day before Jungkook was scheduled to complete his military service. Interestingly, the visit involved no publicity, no documentation, and no third-party presence. Everything took place in private. So, what exactly was discussed in that quiet room? Jungkook's emotional state near the end of his military service is said to be the main background of the meeting. As the youngest BTS member, the weight of responsibility he carries on the international stage and within military life is no small matter. Rumors suggest that mental pressure and the feeling of being unready to return to the entertainment world heavily influenced him. Thus, Taehyung's arrival was seen not just as moral support, but as a deeply personal emotional reinforcement. A user on an online forum wrote, "Taehyung didn't come as a group mate, but as a brother who truly understands the burden Jungkook carries." That comment received thousands of likes, reflecting how many fans resonated with the emotional depth between the two BTS members. Speculation grew stronger when it became known that Taehyung canceled several personal agendas for this visit. There was no official celebration for him after completing his military service. His focus was singular: ensuring Jungkook was in good condition, in silence, away from camera flashes. This attitude garnered public admiration and was even seen as a true form of solidarity behind the glamour of the entertainment industry. And then came the questions. Was this visit related to a major decision Jungkook would soon make? Could this be the beginning of a long hiatus? Or perhaps the opening to a more personal, introspective solo project? A Korean pop culture journalist assessed that this event reflects BTS's core values: loyalty, empathy, and strength in togetherness. He wrote that this moment is not just about the closeness of two group members, but about how they continue to support each other, even in the quietest moments of their lives. While the agency has yet to make an official statement and no visual documentation confirms the visit, fan speculation and emotion have already spread widely. They interpret the moment as a form of unspoken love, care, and sacrifice. Amid all this, the public now awaits official news about Jungkook's return to the entertainment world. Will he resume activities right away, or choose to give himself space to truly recover? Whatever the answer may be, it's clear that genuine support like Taehyung's is an invaluable strength. The emotional moment of Taehyung and Jungkook, fact or just collective imagination of fans, the private meeting between Kim Taehyung and Jungkook at the military base, said to have occurred without official documentation, is gradually becoming a widespread topic of conversation. On one hand, this narrative carries elements of emotional closeness, and solidarity between BTS members. But on the other hand, a big question arises: did all of this really happen? As a society living in the era of information overload, we cannot ignore the possibility that moments like this might be constructed, either intentionally or unintentionally, by social media, by fan narratives, or even by marketing strategies of the entertainment industry itself. Then, how can we distinguish reality from illusions created by collective hope? Where does this information come from? Upon closer inspection, the information about Taehyung's visit to Jungkook did not come from an official statement by HYBE or the military. Instead, the story first spread via social media such as TikTok, Twitter, now X, and online BTS fan forums. Several TikTok videos even showed old video clips, which were then given new narratives to seemingly support the rumor of the visit. YouTube was no exception. Several channels created compilations of fan theories, complete with touching voiceovers and emotional background music. But one thing we should all ask ourselves: is there any solid proof? Isn't this all just a digital illusion wrapped in emotion? Why do we want to believe? Mass psychology shows that humans tend to believe narratives that align with their emotional hopes or desires. In this case, BTS fans, who have long awaited the members' togetherness during military service, deeply long for a story like this. So, when the tale of Taehyung secretly visiting Jungkook surfaced, the narrative was quickly accepted, even validated, by the fan community itself. But doesn't this point to confirmation bias? Do we believe it because we have reliable proof, or because we simply want to believe that their bond is truly that intimate? Media and sensationalism. Who benefits? It's also important to question who really benefits from the virality of this narrative. Entertainment media, content creator channels, and brands associated with BTS certainly gained massive exposure. Engagement rose, ads poured in, and conversations kept flowing. All of this is real economic value. So it's not far-fetched to suspect. Could this narrative have been shaped to trigger mass empathy for specific gains? We live in an era where the line between journalism, entertainment, and marketing is razor-thin. A lot of information arrives without verification, just to fill the trending cycle. Isn't this a strong reason why we must remain skeptical? How to distinguish fact and hoax in the digital era? It's crucial to emphasize that this article was compiled from various sources whose truth cannot yet be fully verified. We found materials from TikTok, YouTube, Twitter/X, and other online media platforms. However, there has been no confirmation from official parties, either HYB or the South Korean military authorities. Therefore, we invite readers to reflect. Small Orange Diamond, did this moment really happen as described? Small Orange Diamond, or is this merely a fictional narrative created to draw public sympathy? Small Orange Diamond, to what extent can we trust information that comes from social media? Small Orange Diamond, are we becoming victims of excessive romanticization by online communities? Why skepticism and reflection matter. A critical attitude doesn't mean rejecting all information, but questioning its validity with common sense. Amid the flood of news that may not be accurate, we as information consumers have a moral responsibility not to spread it carelessly, especially if the information concerns the reputation of someone or a group. In this case, BTS. That we must ask, Small Orange Diamond, does this narrative humanize the idols, or does it pressure them with unrealistic emotional expectations? Small Orange Diamond, are we creating myths that only exist in our minds? Small Orange Diamond, could this narrative actually be disturbing the members' mental peace, who may want to live more privately during military service? Reflection. Between reality and collective imagination, moments like this, whether real or not, open a larger space for discussion on how we define closeness, loyalty, and emotional support among group members. However, in addressing it, we must also remember that these idols are ordinary human beings. They are entitled to privacy, peace, and a life that is not always subject to public consumption. Ultimately, we want to invite you, the readers and BTS fans, to reflect again. Backhand index pointing right, what are you really looking for in news like this? Backhand index pointing right, are you seeking truth or emotional comfort? Backhand index pointing right, are you brave enough to admit that perhaps this is all just an illusion? We hope this writing becomes not only a reading material, but also a space for reflection that sparks our collective awareness that behind every viral news story, there are always layers of narrative that need to be unpacked. And that as part of an informed public, our job is not just to enjoy the story, but also to weigh it with reason.